You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we get ready to take you through a weekend preview of football here on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us, doing a shortened episode here today, but we're just giving you guys a quick preview. First off, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us, whether you're watching on YouTube, that's Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like, and share the stream as well, as we're getting ready to go through all of these games here for this coming up weekend. Football on every level, high school, college, and in the pros as well. And I'll look over a little bit at the NBA season. We'll do our first real NBA episode on Tuesday next week, so make sure you guys getting ready to tune in for that. Also, if you're watching with us on Facebook, I want to say thank you to you guys, and make sure you go to our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. That is CentexSportsNetwork.com. Make sure you guys go on there. Free subscription. All we need is your name and your email to get signed up, and you'll be able to get access to all of our content, including MCC Volleyball that is back in action this Saturday. MCC was able to get big-time win out in Cisco, Texas yesterday. They look to do the same once again this Saturday at 1 o'clock, so make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Tomorrow is Friday Night Flex, folks, and it's going to look a little bit different than what you're used to or what you've seen the first couple of weeks. We're going to be on the road. We're going to be live in Marlin, Texas for their homecoming. It is homecoming week for Marlin. So make sure you guys tune in for that. 6 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to be out there. You'll hear the band. You'll see us out there with the Marlin faithful, and we'll look forward to what should be a really good game versus Bruceville 80 this coming up weekend. So make sure you guys are ready to tune into that. Once again, 6 to 10 p.m. Friday Night Flex on the road. Myself, Rocky Miller, Wayne Walker will be out in Marlin, Texas, so make sure you guys tune in and getting ready for that. Let's jump straight into some football, folks. Like I said, a really shortened episode. I just want to preview a couple of these games for you guys, get everybody ready for the football weekend that we have coming up. Let's start on the high school level, and it's going to start right at the top at 6A. We're looking at District 12. I think Midway has a week off this week. The couple other schools still going in District 12, as Killeen will be taking on the Temple Wildcats. Temple off to a good start. They're 4-2. Yeah, they lost a couple of games, but they've lost games to really formidable opponents, one of them including Midway, which is in their district as well, and I believe they lost to Harker Heights, who's also in their district as well. So I expect Temple to come out with the win in that game. In 5A, Leander and Lake Belton playing, both of them with 3 wins and 3 losses on the season. We'll look to see who comes out with the win in that one, but give me Lake Belton. Belton versus University. It's University squad. They're sitting at 500 right now, but the most important thing is they're 1-0 in district play. They had kind of an up and down pre-district so far through the season, but they come back out. First game against district, against Brian Rudder in district. They show up and they show out. Savoy Nichols throws for 400-something yards, 7 touchdowns, leads their offense to a victory. Now they take on a better opponent in the Belton Tigers. This Belton team also sitting at 500, had a tough, rocky start in their pre-district, but they're also sitting at 1-0 in district. We know district play is all what it's about. That's how you get to the playoffs. So those are the games that really count. This is going to be a big-time game. I'll take University in this game after I saw last week what this University offense was able to do to Brian Rudder. If they can keep that momentum going, Savoy Nichols can keep connecting with the big-time target in London Smith. If the defense keeps playing great with all the guys they have out there, Jeremiah Green, the different guys in that cast, if they keep playing the same way, the same brand of football like they played Friday, and like I've seen them play at times this season, University should be just fine. Give me the U-Dogs tomorrow, 7 o'clock versus Belton. Waco High and Killeen Ellison will play at Leo Buckley Stadium. Both teams really struggling. Waco High still looking for a win. Ellison still winless in district play. So both teams will be looking to get a victory. That's at Leo Buckley Stadium at 7 o'clock. As we start to look at 4A, District 12 and 4A, we talk about it all the time here, not only on Centex Primetime, but also on Friday Night Flex as well. This is the premier district in 4A. I feel like the best district in 4A in the entire state, the best district in Central Texas as well. First off, La Vega and China Spring. La Vega off to another good start. They play an undefeated Gatesville team last week, still able to go out there and get a dub. Courtney Parr, Jabari Thornton, and the crew really doing their thing out there at La Vega, who's sitting at 4-2, 1-0 in district play. On the other side of that, China Spring, a team that's really struggled in their pre-district schedule, 1-4 in pre-district, but they come out against a really good opponent in the Colony Cadets, and they find a way to win. That's what this China Spring team does, man. Like I said, we know district is what counts. China Spring was able to find a way to win. This should be a really, really fun game, and it's always a great time when China Spring and La Vega match up. A lot of history between those two teams, especially in the last 15, 20 years. Lots of big-time playoff matchups, regular season matchups, the whole 9 yards, man. But give me La Vega tomorrow at China Spring to be able to get a victory. The Conley Cadets and the Robinson Rockets. This Conley team is talented. They can throw the ball with the multitude of weapons out there. Jamarian Vincent and Evans that's out there on the outside as well. You got the running back, Braden Ford. It's an offense that can put points up. But they've struggled so far this season. They lose a game last week to a China Spring team that was struggling. Came all the way down to the wire in that game. They're looking for a win, but they've got to try to get it on the road as they're taking on the Robinson team that is 5-1, 1-0 so far in district plays. They got their first win over Lorena. Give me the Robinson Rockets in this game, man. Robinson is off to a great start. They're sitting at 5-1, and they've got a great chance to be able to win this district. I know we all pencil in La Vega to be able to win right away, but they've got to go through a gauntlet. They got to play the Gatesvilles, who they already beat. They got to play this Robinson team. They got to play an explosive Lorena team. But give me Robinson against Conley this weekend, man. Bryce McCurdy, Evan Marino, Dylan Medlock. That offense has been humming all week long. Evan Marino coming off another fantastic game to open up district play. Has been one of the leading rushers in Central Texas for the last few years. Doing it once again, still leading all rushers this year. And we'll talk about some of our stat leaders here in just a second in Central Texas. But give me the Rockets. Gatesville versus Lorena. This is a big-time matchup. Lorena's offense they have an extremely high-powered offense. Even though they have a 2-4 record, the defense hasn't been able to step up and play to the same standard as their offense. But when you have an offense that explosive like Lorena, you're live in every single game. This Gatesville team, they've battled injuries. Their quarterback, Gary Keaton, has battled through injury. We saw that last week when he played against La Vega. Kind of struggled in that game, but you're playing against La Vega, and you don't get blown out by a La Vega team. I know some people that might sound crazy, but you got to take the small victories. You say, okay, we lose by a couple of touchdowns to a team that could be in state, to a team that was in state a year ago. You take that momentum and you take that confidence, and you march into Lorena to play against the Leopards and their high-powered offense trying to get a win. I'm going to take Gatesville in this game. I like what I've seen so far from Gatesville this year. The do-it-all guy, Amos Phillips, out there at receiver and at corner. They're expecting to have a big game in this game against this Lorena defense, but they're going to have to strap it up, and they're going to have to play against Jackson Blanchett, Brody DeLeon, Carson Miller, all these guys at Lorena that's been putting up video game numbers all year long. Gatesville's got to try to find a way to stop them. As we go down and look at 3A, some of the games in 3A, Mahia and West playing. West off to a great start. They're 4-1 on the season so far. Give me West in that game. Maypearl and Whitney. Whitney with a 4-2 start. We know they've got their own dynamic offense and their own version of the triplets, is what I call it, when you're thinking about their quarterback, Fisher Watson, and their running back, Jonte Johnson, and then the do-it-all guy on the outside, Kobe Haynes, who's got multiple D1 scholarship offers already. Give me the Whitney Wildcats in that game. Grandview and Grosbeck. I'll take Grandview in that one, sitting at 4-2. Grandview off to a pretty good start this season, even though they dropped the game last week to a Whitney team. If we get down to 3A and look at some of these games, Troy and Cameron Yo, both of these teams need a win, both winless so far in district play. That should be a really tight game, but I'll take Troy in that game. As we start to go down to some of the lower levels here, we get to 2A. who's got some really good teams in this Central Texas area. Axtell, 5-1 on the season, taking on Italy. Give me Axtell. They've been off to a great start. Bosqueville, who had a comeback win the other night versus Valley Mills, playing against a 4-1 Rio Vista squad. Give me Bosqueville in this game. No, Bosqueville's been playing some good football as of late. Crawford and Riesel. Crawford with the 5-1 start had a scare last week against Marlin, who will be at this weekend, where they had to go to overtime, but Crawford able to pull that game out. They're 1-0 in district play. Give me Crawford against Riesel. Bruceville, Eddy, and Marlin. Marlin still winless on the season. Got very, very close last week to beating a really good Crawford team. Liked what I saw in that game from the Bulldogs. Give me the Marlin Bulldogs in this game versus Bruceville Eddy. Playing on homecoming, and they're going to be playing on Centex Sports Network. That's going to give them a little extra added boost. Give me the Bulldogs in that game versus Bruceville Eddy tomorrow. Moody and Rosebud Lott, which will be a really good matchup. I'll take Rosebud Lott in this game. Both teams undefeated in district play. Moody 4-2 record. Rosebud Lott 5-1. Should be a really good game. 6-0 Bremond, ranked in the state, playing against Goldweight, the 4-2 team. I got to go Bremond. No way I'm picking against Bremond in this game. Frost and Chilton. Frost, a really, really good start to the season. They're 5-1 coming into this game, 2-1 already in district play. Chilton, 6-0, 3-0 in district play. Y'all know how I feel about the Pirates, man. If y'all have watched this show or Friday Night Flex, give me Chilton, and give me Chilton all the way to the state game this year. I feel that strongly about this Chilton Pirates team this year. I think they've got a really, really good squad. Their defense hasn't got scored on in 5 weeks. Come on, man. This Chilton team is dominating right now. It's not getting talked about enough. Haven't even been scored on, man. I'll take the Pirates all day long. Mart versus Hubbard. Give me Mart in this one, even though they've struggled this year. Expect them to get back in the win column once again this weekend against Hubbard. Those are some of the games I like for this upcoming weekend, folks. Like I said, huge weekend in high school football, and you'll be able to catch all of that coverage right here on Friday Night Flex, as we'll be live in Marlin, Texas tomorrow, 6 to 10 p.m. for Friday Night Flex. Let's take a quick look at some of these stat leaders in the Central Texas area. Guys, it's off to a great start. And really, as we get ready to wrap up this regular season in high school in Central Texas football, look at some of these leaders. We just talked about, as we look at the passing leaders, Jackson Blanchard from Lorena has been off to a great start. He's already sitting at 1,988 yards for the season. Leads the entire Central Texas in yardage. Definitely off to a great start, 19 touchdowns. Quarterback that's been playing, two quarterbacks that's really been playing great football. Not too many quarterbacks have played better football than these guys. That's Cole Collins from Fairfield, and then Andrew Air McNair is what I've been calling him from Midway. Cole Collins is off to a phenomenal start, 1,700 yards, 23 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. Man, this dude has been playing great football from start to finish, and so is his team. Fairfield has been off to a tremendous start this year. Their offense is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with as they get further into the playoffs. And then Andrew McNair, 13 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions, 1,500 yards. This kid is off to a phenomenal start, man. This Midway team is off to a phenomenal start. He's got a multitude of weapons around him. Obviously, he's got the best running back in Central Texas that I've been calling him that, Latham Wissington, one of the best running backs in Texas. They've also got Jaden Fields Vaughn at running back. They got Jacoby Hamilton at receiver. They got Tyler Seat at receiver. Their offense is loaded. Andrew McNair, a big part of that. Savoy Nichols, got to give him a shout out with that 400-yard game the other day. 6 touchdowns to go along with it. He's now sitting at 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. Savoy Nichols really off to a good start this year. Also chipped in with 1,490 yards so far this season. Not too far right behind him, Courtney Parr over at La Vega has been playing great football, 13 touchdowns, 5 picks, 1,300 yards on the season. That La Vega team is rolling so far this year. Expect them to get another big win this weekend. Leading rushers, we just talked about Evan Marino, man. He's done this 2 years in a row now. Evan Marino, 1,282 yards to lead all of Central Texas in rushing, 15 touchdowns on the season as well. The guy that's leading Central Texas in touchdowns, though, is Ja'Shawn Johnson down there at Valley Mills. We talked about how Valley Mills is off to a great start this year. A lot of that credit is due to the great play of Ja'Shawn Johnson. He's been playing tremendous football. 1,100 yards already on the season, 20 touchdowns on the season. Right behind him in touchdowns is Latham Wizardson over at Midway. He's got, 60 less carries than some of these guys at 108 carries. Still 937 yards, 15 touchdowns on the year, and he's been splitting backfield work. Got a shout out to a couple of those guys in District 12. Brody DeLeon, 898 yards with 11 touchdowns. And Krishawn Gregory at China Spring, 897 yards with 9 touchdowns. They've been playing some great football as well. And then we'll go to our receivers here to wrap up some of these stats here for today. Leading it all, as you've seen, most of these triplets is what I've called them from the arena. Carson Miller, leading Central Texas in yards, 751 yards, 43 catches with 10 touchdowns to go along with it. Leading everybody in touchdowns is Ramon Brown of Temple. He's got 11 touchdowns to go along with 700 yards. The 4-star Baylor commit, London Smith, chips in 9 touchdowns, 700 yards, and 44 catches. And Amos Phillips, also in that same District 12 we were just talking about, 48 catches. Looks like he leads all of Central Texas in catches with 48 catches, right behind Gavin Ross with 50. But Amos Phillips, 48 catches, 731 yards, 10 touchdowns to go along with it. Those are some of the standouts that we've seen so far this year in high school football. On that race to be the leader at the end of the regular season for stats here in Central Texas. We'll be able to keep up and keep track of all of that right here on Centex Primetime and on Friday Night Flex. And make sure you guys are tuning in once again tomorrow, 6 to 10 p.m. for Friday Night Flex. Let's go over and talk a little bit of college football and high school football. And NFL football before we get out of here today. Like I said, folks, it was kind of short an episode as we're just going to preview some of the games for tomorrow. Before we do that, let's take a quick look at the NBA season that is starting on Monday. What are some of the top storylines for this NBA season? Well, one of them is going to be what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference. Will Jason Tatum come back? Will Cleveland be able to get it together and actually win games? New York's got a new head coach now. Will New York be able to be right back sitting at the top? Milwaukee Bucks are trying to keep Giannis from leaving. These are all the storylines that I can't wait to see for this upcoming season. My top dogs in the Eastern Conference for this upcoming season, New York Knicks sitting right at the top of that list. The Milwaukee Bucks sitting right at the top of that list. I know that they're aging and that they've lost Damian Lillard. They traded him back to Portland because he tore that Achilles. But you get some new blood in there. Kevin Porter Jr., anywhere he goes, this guy can hoop. He's going to be starting at point guard. Cole Anthony, they get him from Orlando to come in and also be a guard with him. They replaced Brook Lopez with Miles Turner, something I think they should have been done. I have no idea why Brook Lopez was still there 5. He's 106 years old and pretty much just shoots threes at this point. But I like some of the moves that Milwaukee has made. Can Atlanta make a jump this upcoming season? Can Detroit keep it going? The momentum that they built up from last season, those are some of the teams I have sitting at the top. And then other teams that have huge question marks around them. No idea what's going to happen in Philadelphia with the Sixers. We don't know who's going to play. Now even Tyrese Maxey is in and out of being hurt. They draft Jared McCain. He started off great. He's in and out of being hurt. What are the Miami Heat going to do? I think they're going to be terrible this year. I don't want to say fire Eric Spoelstra, but I hope Eric Spoelstra gets an opportunity to go coach somewhere else. If they can't turn this around in Miami, he's too good of a coach to be stuck with the lack of weapons that Miami has. In the Western Conference, where all the action is, I'm going to be starting up some small talk on the side about the Houston Rockets. We'll do like a 20-minute show once or twice a week where I'll give some insight on what's going on with the Houston Rockets, really on all the Texas teams. I want to keep up with the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Mavericks, so stay on the lookout for that. But the Rockets are right at the top of that list, man. You bring in a Kevin Durant. Obviously, I'm a Rockets fan. Y'all know that. But you bring in a Kevin Durant to add to what you already have with Amen Thompson, who's going to be running point now that Van Vliet is out. When you talk about Alfred Şengün, who's had a great season, who's had a great offseason, who's coming off of an all-star season, looking to build on that some more, and then all the youth they have surrounding them. What is Reed Shepherd going to look like? What are some of these other pieces going to fit, like Dorian Finney-Smith, who comes over to replace Dylan Brooks? Some question marks in Houston, but I like the squad that they have. San Antonio, what is that going to look like? You already had the Rookie of the Year in Stephon Castle. You draft another guard in Dylan Harper to go along with De'Aaron Fox out there. I love the trio of guards they have to play with Wemby. What is this Mavericks team going to look like? With Cooper Flagg out there, I have to say, man, Cooper Flagg, he's looking like the real deal so far in preseason. The dude can hoop. Now, I know Jason Kidd is going to let him try to play some point. And some people were saying, oh, man, why is he going to do that? Y'all forget when Jason Kidd was the coach of the Bucks, he's the one that put the ball in the hands of Giannis as Giannis started to elevate. He wants to do that same type of deal with Cooper Flagg, especially when Kyrie's going to be out for at least the first half of the season as well. But I can't wait for this NBA season. Like I said, folks, we're going to preview this season in totality on Tuesday, so make sure you guys tune in next week for Centex Primetime as the NBA season tips off on Tuesday. Can't wait to be able to watch that as well. Let's start on the college level and go to some of these games. First off, we got to shout out Curcinetti. Gets a new contract, 8 years, $93 million deal with Indiana. Dropping the bag on Curcinetti. We heard his name coming up in multiple talks. Penn State, there's coaching openings. Different schools. Arkansas is going to have a coaching opening coming up. They killed all of that. They spent the bag. They give him 8 years, $93 million, much deserved. After you just beat up on Oregon, and I expect them to beat up on everybody the rest of their season until they get to the Big 12, to the Big 10 championship game against potentially an Ohio State or somebody like that. But well-deserved for Curcinetti. Let's preview some of these games for this upcoming weekend, folks. First off, we got to start in the Big 12 and look at some of these games for the upcoming weekend. Baylor's got one of their biggest rivalries, at least in my fandom of being a fan of Baylor, in my history of being a fan of Baylor. TCU has always been our biggest rival. TCU Horned Frogs, Baylor's traveling up to Fort Worth Stadium I've been to before, multiple times actually, to watch the Baylor Bears play against TCU. They've got TCU this weekend. TCU is a 2.5-point favorite. We know they've got a high-powered offense. McAllister, a receiver. Josh Hoover has been playing phenomenal football. But can't discount what Sawyer Robertson's doing, man. Over 2,000 yards already, 19 touchdowns and just 4 picks. Bryson Washington looks like he's starting to get into a rhythm. Josh Cameron looks like he's starting to get into a rhythm. I have no worries about the offense. Can Baylor get some type of production out of their defense and specifically out of their defensive line? If you give Josh Hoover all day to throw, it's going to be an issue. You're going to find yourselves looking up at somebody going over the top if you can't get a pass rush on this guy. Baylor's pass rush has to find a way to get it going. Amarian Winston's been the leader in that so far, but I'm still looking at, the Matthew Fobbs-White, some of these other guys on the defensive line, the Cooper Lands. They've got to find a way to get some pressure on the quarterback. If they can do that, this Baylor secondary hasn't been playing as bad as what some people expected coming into the season. They've got to find a way to do that. I'm taking Baylor in this game, even though they're on the road. Give me Baylor in the 2.5 points in this game. Also in the Big 12, Arizona versus Houston. Houston is 5-1, but like I've said before, it's 5-1 is kind of fool's gold. Arizona's a 1.5-point favorite in this game, so Vegas tells you they think this is about even. I don't think much of Arizona at all, but what I do think something of is Noah Fafita, the quarterback of Arizona. 15 touchdowns, 4 picks, 1,500 yards on the season. He's been playing lights-out football. Give me Arizona for that reason against U of H this weekend, even though they're playing at U of H. Y'all know that, come on, man, we're not going to act like U of H got some type of ruckus home crowd. Arizona's going to come in there and beat U of H this weekend. Still not a believer in U of H. A lot of empty calorie stats, in my opinion, and wins, in my opinion. But they are playing some pretty good football. Connor Wigman, kind of a resurgence for him. They get a win over Oklahoma State that they needed. They got beat down against Texas Tech, but so is just about everybody. So for that reason, give me the Arizona Wildcats in this game on Saturday. That's at 11 o'clock. Texas Tech and Arizona State, man, you already know where I'm going with this. Give me Texas Tech. They're a 7.5-point favorite. Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12, and expect Texas Tech to go undefeated. That's how good I think this team is. Both sides of the ball, their offense is able to get it done. They rushed for 300-something yards last week. Cameron Dickey rushes for 260 by himself. We know they got a multitude of receivers, even though their quarterback keeps being hurt. But this defense is lights out. They paid for a good defense. That's exactly what they got. This Texas Tech team, like I said, best team in the Big 12. I don't see them losing the game until they get to the college football playoffs. Utah versus BYU is probably the biggest game this weekend in the Big 12. Undefeated BYU, ranked number 15 in the country. They're playing at home, taking on Utah, even though BYU's at home and they're ranked number 15. I'm taking Utah. Give me Utah on the 3.5 points in this game. Still like what I've seen out of Utah just about in every single game outside of Texas Tech. And now that we know this Texas Tech team is actually just really good. Give me Utah in this game at 7 o'clock, the night game out there in BYU. And let's look at a couple of these games preview for this weekend outside of the Big 12. Louisville versus Miami. I said it last week on the show, man. I think Miami is the best team in college football. Some people will say Ohio State, they're the reigning champs, they haven't lost. I agree with that. But when push comes to shove, I'd much rather have Carson Beck to make a play than Julian Sand. And I know that they have Jeremiah Smith, but if y'all haven't been watching, it's a young dude like Jeremiah Smith was a freshman last year. It's a young dude that's a freshman out there in Miami that's doing his thing. Malachi Tony, his nickname is Baby Jesus, man. I don't think there's much else y'all got to call. And that's really what they call him in Florida. It's not even like a joke. That's what they call him. This dude was the number one player in Florida. His quarterback gets hurt his senior year. They put him in a quarterback. They don't lose a game, and they win state. Malachi Tony is the truth. He is the real deal. I think Miami is the best team in the country. Obviously, I'm taking Miami in this game, but y'all know I don't like these 2 touchdown spreads, man, because it's college football. You never know what can happen. And Louisville's not a bad team, but I will for sure take Miami on the money line in this game. In the SEC, big time matchup with LSU and Vanderbilt. This LSU team is decent. That's about the best I can say for them. Yes, they're 5-1. No, they're 5-1 coming into this. Garrett Nussmeier has been very underwhelming, in my opinion. Their receiving core has been very underwhelming this season, in my opinion. They have not found a way to run the ball whatsoever. I'll still take LSU in this game, even though they're playing at Vandy. But, man, this is going to be a close one. This is a game that I would stay away from, a game I'm not going to be putting on anything. But if I had to pick, I'll take LSU in this game. But, man, Vanderbilt's scrappy. They're a tough team. They take on the identity of their quarterback, Diego Pavia, who's somehow still trying to play college football next year, too, even though he's already been to JUCO and he's been to a couple of other colleges already. Diego Pavia is a dog. He's going to give him a real chance to win in this game. I'll take LSU just slightly in this game, but like I said, I'll probably stay away from it if I was having to pick. Oklahoma and South Carolina this weekend. I know there were some concerns about this game. Man, we seen what Oklahoma looked like last week. If John Mateer can play and can play decent football, can play competent football, can look slightly healthy, that's all it is. If he can look slightly healthy, I'll take Oklahoma all day in this game. Norris Sellers hasn't shown me anything to look forward to so far this season. I'm hoping he doesn't come out in the draft. I know it's probably people already in his ear thinking he can come out in the draft this year. Hopefully he doesn't do that. But give me Oklahoma in that game for this weekend. Nebraska and Minnesota, I'll take Nebraska. That game is tomorrow, as a matter of fact, on Friday night on 7 o'clock on Fox. I'll take Nebraska in that game. Nebraska has been playing some pretty good football as well. Texas A&M and Arkansas, an old-time rivalry. Give me A&M all day in this game, man. They're 7.5-point favorites. I'll take them on the 7.5. Even though they're playing in Fayetteville against the Razorbacks, I still think A&M is that much better than these guys. Probably the biggest game of the weekend, Ole Miss and Georgia. Ole Miss is off to a great start. Chambliss has been a revelation for this offense. Comes in after dominating at the D2 level. Picks right back up where he left off at D2 and starts dominating in the SEC. I'll still take Georgia in this game. Ole Miss, I don't want to say they're fool's gold. They are a good team. But when you see that 6-0 record, that can be fool's gold. Outside of the LSU win, they haven't beaten anybody. They beat Tulane. They beat Washington State. They beat Arkansas. They beat Kentucky. And they barely beat Kentucky. And barely beat Arkansas at that. So, yeah, I'm taking Georgia in this game. I think it might start getting rocky for this Ole Miss team, starting with this game. Georgia Bulldogs, still one of the most talented teams in the entire nation for sure. So I'm taking Georgia in that game all day long. Texas versus Kentucky. Give me the Longhorns. I know some people are thinking after last week's game, all their problems are fixed. I'm not a believer in that. I don't subscribe to that. I don't think all their problems are fixed. I think they won a game because their defense played lights out, because Trey Rosner rushed for 100 yards, and because their special teams got a touchdown. That's why they won. And John Mateer's hand was broken still. I'm not that big of a believer in Arch. We talked about that game like it fixed everything. Arch had 160 yards on 21 completions. That means you're barely getting the ball down the field. So, no, their problems aren't fixed. Will they win against this Kentucky team? For sure. But I would definitely stay away from that 13.5-point spread that they got. That game's at 6 o'clock on Saturday as well. Tennessee and Alabama, another huge game. The Volunteers have played great football this season. Joey Aguilar has been one of the biggest surprises of the season. I didn't expect him to play like this, I'll say that. It's been one of the biggest surprises of the season. He's playing against a Ty Simpson that I was not impressed with for the majority of the season, man, but this dude is playing some great football. He proved it to me last week against Missouri that he's been playing some really, really good football. 16 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Give me the Crimson Tide in this game. They're playing at home. Tennessee's off to a great start, but not beating Alabama at home, especially not the way that they've been playing so far this season. And then USC and Notre Dame for this weekend as well. I like Notre Dame in this game. I think C.J. Carr has played great, but this is another game I'll stay away from. And I'm tempted to take USC in the plus 9.5 because this USC offense can go. Jordan Maivia is the real deal. Mekhi Lemon is the real deal. This dude is putting up crazy numbers week in and week out. Please go and watch some of his film if you have not. Dude has been eating all year. Playing against a really good Notre Dame team. I'll still take Notre Dame in the game, but this is not a game that I would pick, like I said. But if I was forced to pick, that's who I would take would be Notre Dame to be able to win this one. Those are some of the games coming up for the college football weekend. Really quick, I'll preview a couple of these NFL games before we get out of here today. Just a shortened show that we're doing here today. Give you a quick preview. Tonight, Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. The Old Man Bowl. It's what some have been calling that 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers and a 40-year-old Joe Flacco, who's newly on the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Flacco has played for 3/4 of the AFC North, which is kind of crazy. Still have no idea why Cleveland traded him to a team in their division that was drowning, and you decided to help him out. But Cleveland, way too much going wrong in Cleveland for me to start on today. I don't even have enough time. But the game tonight, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. They're playing in Cincinnati. Give me Pittsburgh in this game. Pittsburgh off to a great start, 4-1 start so far. Their defense dominated the Browns last week. I don't expect them to dominate the Bengals offense because Joe Flacco is going to give guys a chance. When you got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and a quarterback that can just give guys a chance, they're going to be dangerous. They're live to go to do something in this game. But still give me Pittsburgh all day long in this one. They're 5.5-point favorites in the game. I'll even take them on that 5.5. Give me Pittsburgh in that one. Kansas City versus Vegas. We all know we're taking Kansas City in that one. The battle for the worst organizations of the season. Cleveland and Miami play this weekend. I don't care who this wins, and I wouldn't even attempt to try to pick this game. It's just all I do know is we're going to see some horrible quarterback play in that game for sure. Philadelphia playing against Minnesota. Philly trying to get back in the win column as they play against a Minnesota team. Still has Carson Wentz as their quarterback since the injury to J.J. McCarthy. Give me Philly in this game. Philly's a 1.5-point favorite. That tells you Vegas doesn't think much of this matchup in favor of Philly. They think this is going to be a really, really even game. I don't subscribe to that. I'll take Philadelphia Eagles all day long in this game. Indianapolis Colts versus the San Diego. My bad, I don't say San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers. Give me Indy in this game. They're playing in Los Angeles. Chargers been playing good football. They're 1.5-point favorite. I'll take Indianapolis, man. One thing you take on the road with you is running the football and defense. That's what the Indianapolis Colts have. Give me Philly in that game. Dallas playing against the Commanders. Dallas is playing at home against the Commanders. Now, this doesn't even really make that much sense, but I'm taking Dallas in this game. Dallas's offense has been on fire. Dak Prescott is playing the best football maybe in his entire career that he's playing this year. George Pickens looks unguardable. For that reason, I think the Commanders are still kind of banged up. For that reason, I will take the Cowboys, but, I mean, y'all know I'm not picking this game on an actual ticket. This is just for who do I think will win. I'll take Dallas plus 1.5 in there. Get a little plus money on your ticket this week if you're going to pick the Cowboys, which I know most of y'all are going to pick the Cowboys anyway because y'all are Cowboys fans. Denver and the Giants. Give me Denver in that game. Atlanta versus the 49ers. I don't know what to think about either one of these two teams. Both teams have struggled at times this season. 49ers are so banged up, but I'll still take the 49ers in this game. The Niners are a 2.5-point favorite in the game. They're playing at home. I'll take the Niners, even though they're playing without so many of their main contributors. On Monday night, Houston Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks. Come on, man. Y'all know where I'm going. I'm going Texans all day long. Seattle is off to a great start, though. They're 2.5-point favorites. They're 4-2 on the season. This is where it starts to turn around, in my opinion, for the Texans. But y'all weren't expecting anything different here, from my opinion, from the Texans. And then Tampa Bay and Detroit on Monday night as well. This is going to be a phenomenal game. Can't wait to see this. High-powered offenses going against each other. I'll take the Detroit Lions in this game. They're playing at home. They're sitting at 4-2 on the year. Tampa Bay off to a great start, but they'll both be 5-2 in my opinion after this weekend. Detroit's a 5.5-point favorite in the game. I'll take them on the money line. Won't take them on the 5.5 points because this is going to be a really close one. That is the football preview we have for this weekend, folks. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on a shortened version of Centex Primetime. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Friday Night Flex live in Marlin, Texas, 6 to 10 p.m. Make sure you guys are ready to tune in for that. Myself, Wayne Walker, Rocky Miller will all be live down there in Marlin. It's homecoming for the Bulldogs this weekend. So make sure you guys getting ready to tune in for that. And MCC Volleyball this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Make sure you guys are tuned in and ready for that as well. MCC, like I said, just got a win on Wednesday versus Cisco. Looking to pick up another much-needed win this weekend as well. So make sure you guys tune in 1 o'clock on Saturday. We're out of time here today on Centex Primetime. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And we will see you guys tomorrow for Friday Night Flex. Everybody have a great evening.